June 28, 2012, late in the PlayStation 3's lifecycle, a free-to-play developed by BB Studio known as Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation was released on the Japanese PSN store. And now, 5 years later, as the game's online service comes to an end on July 31st, 2017, I wish to speak about what makes this game based on the decade-persisting anime franchise something special. First off, for those unfamiliar with the game, Gundam Battle Operation is a free-to-play multiplayer team action game where two teams that usually consist of 6 on each side fight, capture outposts, and try to destroy the opposing side's base, all while using one of the game's wide selection of mechs known as mobile suits. And as something wholly unique to this game, well, mostly unique, Mobile Suit Gundam Operation 4 did it as well, it's possible to exit your mobile suit to perform various tasks that can only be done on foot. While I don't really wish to speak about the balance of the many playable mobile suits because, well, in reality it's not very balanced and fair just due to the nature of how this game's free-to-play system works, I do wish to talk about some really cool ideas that this game actually executed on and why its closure is disheartening. One of the things that differentiates Gundam Battle Operation from other games of this type is its grounded approach. Of course, it's not Hakken or MechWarrior levels of realistic grit, but it's definitely up there in terms of realistic bipedal mecha based off the ones represented in anime. The game does this by having its setting be during the 1-year war, a time period within the main timeline of the Gundam franchise where a lot of mobile suits are experimental, and the technology hasn't progressed to the point to create mobile suits that respond to pilot inputs like lightning. This game is one of the few that actually delivers on creating a Gundam game that is true to how they're depicted in the anime, something that a lot of Gundam games just don't do in favor of going for a different, more arcadey style like Gundam Extreme Versus, Dynasty Warriors Gundam, or Gundam Breaker. Gundam Battle Operation's grounded approach means there's a palpable sense of weight to each action, whether that be when you're just moving around, slashing with a beam saber, or just attempting to jump in the air. It all has a sense of weight, and it varies from suit to suit. From the Dom's agile, floaty, hovering movement, all the way to the gun tank's slow, powerful cannon fire. The lumbering attacks of these mechanical menaces convey a real sense of power and require skill to master, with every hit on the battlefield feeling well earned and gained through teamwork and prowess. But in addition to creating a generally slow, methodical pace where committing to an attack could spell your success or doom, Gundam Battle Operation's heavy-footed mechs serve as a stark juxtaposition to your more versatile pilots. You see, the unique thing about Gundam Battle Operation is that it lets players exit their mobile suit, something that very few mech games do. Believe it or not, this actually goes a long way toward making it feel like the mobile suit you're piloting is something huge and massively destructive, where most mech games often fail to produce a sense of scale because of how their environments such as buildings, trees, and other land-based vehicles are represented next to their mechs, and only having other large mechs to compare their relative size to in the game world. Gundam Battle Operation overcomes this problem by keeping its camera close behind the mech and having environmental aspects such as buildings, tunnels, and rock formations be actual obstacles to circumvent during a match, rather than just background flavoring with little to convince you that you're controlling toys instead of machines the size of buildings. Gundam Battle Operation also gives you many things to compare the humongous size of your mobile suits to in its many land-based vehicles, in addition to the pilot himself. And these aren't just arbitrary size comparisons that don't mean much like other games use. These actually are pretty impactful, like the view of other mobile suits you get when you're on foot, or the view of your own mobile suit when you're repairing it as a pilot. You get a real sense that you're small next to these machines, and that's a real accomplishment. But the best part about that is playing as a pilot adds to the strategy of the game. While most of the land vehicles you can use kinda suck because of how useless they are in a fight and how some of them just seem to be there to address the setting appropriately, which is admirable in its own way, I suppose. The land vehicle that assists in traversal, the WAPA, serves as an awesome way to give players the option to try and invade enemy territory undetected and plant a bomb at the enemy base and potentially turn the tide of the battle for their team. Some maps in this game even have tunnels that only pilots can fit through, adding to the potential strategy at play. It's also possible to steal enemy mobile suits from players who have left their mobile suits unattended, as well as stun mobile suits with stun grenades to try and escape. The wide variety of options available in a mobile suit and out of it creates a really unique type of game, but unfortunately, as with most games that test the waters with unique ideas, it's not perfect. In fact, as you get higher in rank and get better suits, you're better off just staying in your suit, unfortunately. Due to your extreme fragility as a pilot, your pathetic means of offense against mobile suits should you be spotted, as well as the potential amount of time you waste when trying to do something crafty outside your suit. But the point here is that there is a solid foundation here with the idea that can be further built upon and improved. Even despite Gundam Battle Operation's free-to-play model, which limited the number of times you could play the game by requiring you to wait hours in the real world. Even despite the maddening loot drop and research development system, which never actually afforded me the titular Mobile Suit Gundam, or even its prototype in the year or so that I played the game for nearly every day for. Even despite the game's questionable balancing that tried to keep things in line with the source material almost to a fault, Gundam Battle Operation still remains a solid game that'll be sad to go away, because it kinda marks the end of these more realistic Gundam titles. It's a shame too, because you can see the progression of Bandai Entertainment Company, which is now BB Studio, It all starts in 2006 with the primitive Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire, which has an interesting body part destruction mechanic but isn't a particularly good game. Then comes 2009 with its fantastic Mobile Suit Gundam Battlefield record 0081, with an improved sense of control, a huge selection of mobile suits to obtain and customize, a fully fledged single player campaign, as well as cooperative and competitive online multiplayer. And then we go all the way to 2012's Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation, which doubles down on the multiplayer aspects and makes them more fun in general. There was also an attempt to bring the gameplay that Gundam Battle Operation pioneered to a single player focused romp in 2014's Mobile Suit Gundam Side Stories, but due to its clearly low budget, rushed development, and multiple poor design choices, it didn't end up as good as it could have been. There certainly was potential for a truly excellent game that came out of BB Studios' experience with creating all these titles. A game that balanced the importance of mobile suits and pilots better, with a media upgrade system with lots of customizability, along with tons of beautifully modeled machines, complete with a great single player multiplayer component, was just in their reach for sure. But unfortunately, 2015's Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation Next, which is a lot more arcadey in nature, appears to indicate a drastically different direction for the Gundam games from BB Studio. And with the closure of Gundam Battle Operation, it seems to mark the end of the distinctive, more realistic brand of fun these lumbering mechs brought to the table, at least for the foreseeable future.